Escape rooms have exploded into a global phenomenon, transforming casual entertainment into a competitive sport for the mind. Millions flock to these immersive environments, eager to test their wits against intricate puzzles and ticking clocks. But as players repeatedly seek out new challenges, a question emerges. What truly drives this powerful desire for repeat play, and can a game become something more compulsive? We delve into the psychological mechanisms that make these experiences so captivating. The immediate appeal of an escape room lies in its powerful novelty and sensory immersion, pulling participants completely out of their everyday lives. Designed environments, rich soundscapes, and tangible props create a potent illusion of reality and urgency. This initial hook provides an intense, short burst of stimulating engagement, which often leaves players craving that specific emotional and cognitive state again. This craving is the starting point for habitual engagement. At its core, the escape room taps into the fundamental human need for problem-solving and competence, a process deeply rewarding to the brain. Successfully deciphering a cryptic clue or solving a complex sequence triggers a potent release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with reward and motivation. This neurochemical feedback loop reinforces the behavior, training the brain to seek out further instances of successful cognitive effort. One major draw is the ability of these immersive games to induce a state known as flow, where players are completely absorbed in the activity, losing track of time and self-consciousness. Flow occurs when the challenge perfectly matches the participant's skill level, resulting in deep, effortless concentration. This highly desirable psychological state is inherently pleasurable and provides a brief respite from everyday worries, motivating players to return seeking that seamless mental involvement. For many enthusiasts, repeat play is driven by a healthy desire for skill mastery and the continuous pursuit of tougher challenges. They treat escape rooms like professional athletes approach training, analyzing their performance, communication, and efficiency after each game. This focus on improving execution and striving for the fastest completion time transforms the hobby into a recognized test of cognitive ability and teamwork, emphasizing growth, not just immediate reward. Escape rooms are fundamentally social experiences, and the shared victory strengthens interpersonal bonds, providing a critical layer of social reinforcement. The camaraderie built under pressure and the shared celebration of success become a powerful motivator for subsequent visits. Players return not just for the puzzles, but also for the guaranteed positive interaction and collaborative achievement with friends or family. As players become more skilled, the standard challenge may no longer provide the intense cognitive stimulation they initially experienced. This necessitates seeking out increasingly difficult and elaborate rooms, creating an escalation curve inherent in many hobby structures. While this pursuit of tougher puzzles is often healthy, the necessity to always chase a higher thrill is where the line towards potentially compulsive behavior begins to blur. The core mechanic of the ticking clock introduces manufactured urgency, heightening stress, and focusing attention intensely for a defined period. This stress release upon solving the final puzzle is highly gratifying, but relying on external constraints to generate intensity can be a precursor to addictive behavior patterns. The brain learns to associate high-stakes pressure with subsequent reward, desiring that intense cycle again and again. It is crucial to distinguish between a passionate hobby and a true compulsion or behavioral addiction. A healthy hobby enhances life, allowing for balanced engagement alongside other responsibilities, while an addiction leads to functional impairment or significant distress if the activity is restricted. The key is analyzing the player's control over the frequency and the negative consequences their repeated play might incur. While escape rooms are generally less harmful than gambling, the financial investment required to maintain a consistent habit can become significant, especially for high-volume enthusiasts. If a player begins prioritizing escape room attendance over essential financial needs or feels obligated to play despite financial strain, the activity shifts from leisure to a potential compulsive behavior driven by reward seeking. Escape rooms often exploit the near-miss effect, where failure is framed as almost succeeding, reinforcing the player's belief that success was just within reach. This cognitive bias, heavily utilized in slot machines and other addictive stimuli, convinces the brain that the next attempt is guaranteed to succeed. Losing by just 2 minutes motivates many players far more strongly than an overwhelming defeat. Many compulsive players report that they are attempting to recapture the exhilaration of their very first peak escape room experience, the feeling of complete awe and surprise. As familiarity with puzzle types increases, this initial rush becomes harder to achieve, leading to increased frequency of play in an ultimately futile attempt to repeat that initial chemical high. This pattern mirrors common characteristics of substance addiction. Behavioral psychologists suggest that the structure of an escape room provides perfectly engineered variables for behavioral reinforcement. Variable ratio rewards, you never know exactly when the next successful puzzle will occur, and immediate positive feedback. This intermittent reinforcement schedule is extremely effective at shaping persistent, repeatable behavior, making the activity highly sticky, even if not clinically addictive. Beyond the puzzles themselves, the appeal of strong narrative and elaborate world-building contributes significantly to repeat play, appealing to fans of specific genres or fictional universes. Players become emotionally invested in the story, treating each room as a chapter in an ongoing adventure. This narrative pull encourages sequential engagement and fosters a sense of loyalty to certain designers or companies. The rise of leaderboards, online communities, and social media bragging rights has introduced an element of status competition to the hobby. For some, the drive is less about solving puzzles and more about maintaining a reputation within the enthusiast community. The pressure to play the newest, hardest room immediately upon release. This external validation fuels continuous engagement. To maintain a healthy relationship with the hobby, experts advise players to set clear boundaries regarding time and money spent, treating escape rooms as defined leisure activities rather than necessary obligations. Scheduling breaks between intense playing periods and ensuring the activity complements rather than dominates one's social life are vital preventative measures. Self-monitoring is essential for distinguishing between passion and dependency. The business model relies on rapid turnover and the continuous introduction of novel themes and mechanics to draw players back, creating a novelty cycle. Highly engaged players can fall into the trap of feeling compelled to experience every new installation immediately to avoid missing out, a symptom often referred to as FOMO, or the fear of missing out. This rapid consumption can mask underlying compulsive tendencies.
While escape rooms are generally low risk, individuals with pre-existing tendencies towards behavioral compulsions or those who struggle with impulse control may find themselves more susceptible to unhealthy patterns of play. It is important for operators and friends to be aware of signs of distress or functional impairment related to excessive involvement, encouraging moderation when necessary. The social pressure to keep up with friends can inadvertently push vulnerable players toward problematic repetition.
Ultimately, the relationship between a player and the escape room exists on a spectrum. For the vast majority, it remains a stimulating, engaging, and social form of recreation, a passion that enhances life. However, for a small subset, the pursuit of the thrill, the competition, and the chemical reward can overshadow real-world obligations, indicating a shift toward a problematic compulsion. Escape rooms offer invaluable benefits, including improved teamwork, cognitive agility, and stress relief when approached mindfully. Recognizing the potent psychological hooks, from the flow state to the dopamine rush, is key to maintaining controlled engagement. Whether driven by healthy mastery or compulsive thrill-seeking, the player ultimately holds the responsibility to ensure the clock of the game does not overshadow the rhythm of their life.